Nike accidentally revealed everything, and no one was supposed to see it this soon. 10 days before Alex Eala stepped onto one of the biggest courts in professional tennis, she walked through a tunnel at Nike World headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon. What happened inside those walls was never meant to travel as far or as fast as it did. Yet within hours, millions of eyes were locked onto images that ignited the internet in a way nobody anticipated. Portraits, messages, a flower, and words carved into the wall that read, "History in full bloom." Accidental? Deliberate? That question has been burning through every tennis community, every Filipino household, and every sports analyst who watched those Instagram stories go live on February 27th, 2026. Because what Nike placed on that tunnel wall doesn't simply celebrate a 20-year-old athlete. It announces a dynasty in the making. Where it all began born on May 23rd, 2005, in Quezon City, Philippines, Alex Eala entered a world where no Filipino woman had ever cracked the top 50 in professional tennis. Not once. Not ever. The pathway to the elite simply didn't exist. So, she built her own. At just 8 years old, Globe Telecom recognized something extraordinary in a child barely old enough to understand what a sponsorship meant, signing her as a brand ambassador and planting a seed of belief long before the world knew her name. She trained without pause, traveled internationally, and absorbed every experience with relentless hunger. By 2020, she had climbed to a combined ITF junior ranking of world number 2. By 2022, she shattered a national ceiling, becoming the first Filipino ever to claim a Grand Slam junior singles title, winning the girls category at the US Open. That victory didn't just rewrite Philippine tennis history. It announced, loudly and without apology, that something seismic had arrived. Nike had already seen enough. The rise that stopped the tennis world March 2025. Armed with a wild card and ranked 140th, Eala walked into the Miami Open as someone nobody had circled on their bracket. What followed rewrote the record books entirely. She defeated Jelena Ostapenko. She dismantled Madison Keys. She toppled 5-time Grand Slam champion Iga Swiatek, becoming the first wild card in tennis history to eliminate 3 major champions in straight sets at a single WTA event. The Philippines erupted. The tennis world held its breath. And Eala simply walked back to the baseline, composed, as though she had always belonged there. By March 31st, 2025, she entered the WTA Top 100, the first Filipino woman in history to reach that milestone. By February 23rd, 2026, she had climbed to a career-high ranking of world number 31, leaping 16 places in a single week. Wherever she appeared, Oceania, the Middle East, North America, packed stadiums, and an entire nation traveling in her wake followed close behind. Nike watched every single match. The Oregon visit that changed everything February 27th, 2026. Eala had just arrived on American soil, touching down early to prepare for 2 of the most consequential tournaments of her career, the Indian Wells Open beginning March 4th and the Miami Open launching March 17th. Both WTA 1000 events. Both career-defining stages with the power to push her into the top 20 for the first time. Before a single serve was struck, she made a detour. Nike World Headquarters. The campus where legends are permanently enshrined. Where Michael Jordan's legacy breathes through architecture. Where athletes who have transcended their sport are immortalized in corridors the general public rarely glimpses. Eala walked in, captured everything on Instagram stories, and press share. What happened next moved at digital speed. Inside the legendary Nike Tunnel, the hallowed passageway where the brand's greatest global ambassadors across every sport are enshrined, Alex Eala's portrait now hung. One image featured the words, "History in full bloom." Another showed her, both hands pressed to her face in disbelief and tears. Frozen in the raw emotion of the moment, she realized she had just reached the semifinals of the Miami Open as a wild-card teenager. That photograph now occupied permanent space among the most celebrated athletes on the planet. The internet didn't just react. It detonated. Within hours, images cascaded across every platform: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Sports journalists, tennis analysts, Filipino celebrities, and millions of fans began screenshotting, sharing, and asking the same persistent question: what exactly does this mean? Because nobody accidentally gets their portrait hung in that tunnel. Nobody accidentally receives a custom welcome at Nike's most prestigious address. This wasn't a casual visit. It was orchestrated, deliberate, and saturated with intention. The cultural architecture behind the branding looked closer, and the depth of Nike's investment becomes impossible to miss. During her visit, Eala was photographed lying on a ping-pong table beside an image of the sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines. She also captured a pair of Nike Air Riff split-toe sandals paired with a miniature tennis court adorned with the same flower. This wasn't decoration. This was deliberate cultural architecture. Nike didn't casually place a Philippine national symbol on merchandise and call it branding. They wove Filipino identity into the very DNA of Eala's ambassador relationship, a calculated, sustained, multi-year investment in connecting her athletic identity to her cultural heritage, making her simultaneously a world-class competitor and an unbreakable symbol of national pride. The two identities don't compete. They amplify each other. The pattern stretches back years. For her Wimbledon debut in 2025, Nike gifted Eala a hair tie crafted in the form of the sampaguita, arriving in a specially designed box carrying a message that translated to, "If you plant, you will harvest." Months later, Nike released an Eala-inspired limited edition shirt designed by Filipino artist Georgina Camus, featuring the national flower overlaid on the grass courts of the All England Club. A custom hair accessory for Wimbledon. A limited edition cultural shirt. Immortalized portraits at global headquarters. Personalized gifts during the Oregon visit. This isn't standard ambassador treatment. This is signature athlete architecture, the same level of investment Nike reserves for generational figures. And then there is the contract. Nike recently renewed its partnership with Eala in a deal reportedly valued at $75 million. $75 million for a 20-year-old ranked 31st in the world at the beginning of what analysts believe could be a decade-long dominance at the top of professional tennis. Nike doesn't invest that figure in athletes they view as promising. They invest it in athletes they view as inevitable. The fabrications that reveal her cultural gravity, the viral momentum surrounding the Nike headquarters visit collided with something uglier and far more revealing about Eala's cultural impact. Across Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, fabricated stories began spreading faster than legitimate news could respond. A post claimed Wilson had offered her a $45 million contract. Debunked. Rumors of a Yonex racket deal surfaced. False, as she remains under contract with Babolat. Claims of an Emirates Airlines sponsorship emerged, unverified and flagged as misinformation. Then came the more extravagant fabrications. Posts alleged that Michael Jordan personally selected Eala as the new face of Air Jordan, attaching a figure of $1. $8 billion. Others circulated a claim of a multi-billion-dollar offer from Abu Dhabi, a supposed 10-year arrangement with a $1 billion down payment and $600 million annually. Fact-checkers at Verifiles and Rappler moved quickly. None of it was real. But here's what demands genuine attention beyond the debunking. Why does this keep happening? Why does Eala's name consistently attract fabricated billions that accumulate hundreds of thousands of reactions before corrections can catch up? Because the world already perceives her as someone whose trajectory could plausibly reach those heights. The Filipino public isn't being naive, they're projecting. They're watching a young woman from Quezon City dismantle Grand Slam champions with such velocity that billion-dollar figures feel emotionally accurate, even when factually false. That gap between verified reality and aspirational fiction is itself a form of cultural power. And Nike understands cultural power better than almost any organization on earth. What it all means, Alexandria Eala's story isn't about a sponsorship deal. It isn't about a viral Instagram story, fabricated billions, or a portrait hanging in a tunnel in Oregon. It's about a girl who planted and is now beginning to harvest. From Quezon City to Nike's most legendary corridor. From junior wildcard to WTA number 31. From a nation that had never produced a top 50 professional tennis player to a global brand investment worth $75 million and growing. Every step of this journey was earned, not inherited. The portrait on that Nike wall isn't simply a moment frozen in time. It's a promise from one of the most powerful sports brands on earth that they intend to invest in this woman's legacy for years to come. And that promise, whether Nike intended to reveal it this early or not, is now visible to everyone. So here's the question worth carrying long after you finish reading this. 10 years from now, when people trace back the precise moment the world understood how far Alex Eala was always going to go, will they point to Miami 2025? Or will they point to a tunnel in Oregon on February 27, 2026, where her portrait stood quietly among giants and nobody noticed until it was already too late to look away?